So here's the truth. A no makeup isn't about wearing less, it's about wearing it right. And I'm going to show you today how to create a beautiful, natural, I'm not wearing any makeup that everyone keeps asking me about. Now, the first steps to any makeup routine, in particular, the no makeup routine, is going to be your skin prep. Prepping the skin is really going to give us the basis for our foundation and everything else that lays on top of it. And it's also going to get our skin ready and hydrated so that our makeup sits well and smooth without that cakey texture. I always start off my skin prep with washing my face in the morning, in the afternoon, in the night. I always wash my face, so that I've already done. So I'm just gonna go right into my next steps, which is always my hydrating layers. Now you'll notice when I'm doing my skin prep, I'm using more liquidy, watery textured products, more of that in quantity than you would see me with creams. Like, you haven't seen me touch a cream yet. And the reason why, this is going to soak into my skin and it won't interfere with the base of my makeup, and it is going to make my skin nice and hydrated and plump, again because the skin is absorbing all of that hydrating goodness. My next step is usually going in with a really nice, thick but not too thick eye cream that sits really well under concealer, and it's going to not just plump the under eye, but any fine lines or textures that you may have under the eyes. It is going to help to fill and smooth that texture, and again, just help us get better wear out of our concealer. Now, I personally would do an eye cream no matter the age. Don't just think of eye cream as like an anti-aging thing. It is adding a little extra nourishment to that very delicate skin that we have under the eyes. And then once you're putting makeup on any portion of the skin, you need to make sure that you're supporting that skin texture before your makeup application. Then the next step, you're going to want to add any of your favorite serums that you like. If you're doing a vitamin C, whatever it is, I just really like doing hydrating serums, especially in the daytime. But makeup isn't exclusive to a time of day, so just use whatever serum that you're liking in this next step. And then the final step is going to be your moisturizer. That is going to lock in all of the nice hydrating layers that we've just done, and it is going to be the final priming step for our base that we're going to put right on top of it. I do not use primers. This is the part where I say throw the primer away.
The primers right now tend to make your makeup look more textured, more cakey. It causes separation, it causes cracking. I just generally don't think that they're needed anymore this time in the makeup industry.
We can talk about that more because I get a little bit passionate about that. And then during my skin prep, I always like to add a lip balm that stays on my lips throughout the entire makeup application, so that by the time we get to whatever lipstick or gloss that we're going to use for the day, our lips are nice and moisturized and healed, especially if you have dry or maybe cracked, peeling lips. This is going to help to rehydrate your lips before you get to the actual lipstick portion. Now it's time for the fun part, our makeup application. And we are going to be using what I call my play technique. This is a framework that is going to help you go step by step in making sure that your no makeup look is perfected and you understand the reason behind the steps that you're doing, which is what's going to really elevate your makeup look. So our first step is perfecting your base. Now this is the part where I really meant it when I said it's not necessarily about doing less, it's about doing it right. What you're going to do, you're going to give yourself a quick assessment. You're going to look in your mirror. This is the part where we're going to be honest with ourselves, but we're not going to be harsh. Okay, we're not criticizing or critiquing or anything like that. We're just looking and we're deciding, okay, what can I live with today? What's a little standout that I don't want? And that's what we're going to focus on. So as I do my assessment, I've been having some recent breakouts that are healing. Any little spot that I get, no matter if I pick it or not, it leaves a nice, beautiful dark spot. So they're annoying me a little bit because I feel like I've been doing so well and now here they are. So I would like to cover those. And I have a little bit of redness, large pores on my nose, and some texture on my forehead. My spots also carry down to my chin. So although it's not a lot, because they're spread out, like they're here and they're here, there's a little bit here. So what that tells me is that I'm not gonna do a spot or two of foundation. I'm actually gonna do a full layer and just make life easier and give myself a nice even coverage. I'm taking my foundation and I'm just going to do one pump on the back of my hand. And what I'm also going to do is mix it a little bit with this Fluid Sheer Glow Enhancer, which is almost the same properties as the foundation itself. Now, for me, what I'm going to do is apply my foundation and my base with my fingers. That is going to give me the most natural finish. So if you're someone that has been avoiding foundations because you feel like foundations look too heavy, I don't want to be full coverage, and you keep trying to maybe do skin tints and they're not working for you, go ahead and try a foundation again, but this time apply it with your fingers. And for my areas with large pores, I'm going to just act like I'm massaging that into the pores, just so that it helps to smooth and hide them better. And you'll do this if you have large pores in this area. Sometimes it's on the chin. And yes, this is pushing the product into your skin, so please make sure that you have a really good double cleansing routine with a washcloth at night to remove this so that you're getting everything back out of your pores. Something that I like to do after applying my foundation is just pressing everything in with my fingers. This isn't going to leave fingerprints. What this is going to do is make sure that your foundation isn't just sitting on the surface of your skin. It's going to be nicely melted in. Still using my fingers, I'm going to do my under eyes. I do a little bit of color corrector, and then I'm going to go in with my concealer. And for my concealer, I'm going to do a little bit on the back of my hand and still apply it with my fingers because I really want to keep that natural texture that we have happening. And also I recommend for the no makeup look, you can do a slightly brightening concealer, slightly, but you do want it to be as close to your skin tone as possible. The concealer that I'm using is the same matching shade as my foundation, but you can see the brand already gave it a slight brightening to it because it's considered for the under eyes, because that's what is going to help us keep that no makeup illusion. And if there's a little excess, I like to take that down the center of my nose, and usually that is enough to give a little bit of dimension without having to go in with like heavy sculpting, because again, we want to be very strategic with our no makeup look. Our next step is going to be layering color. Once you've applied any sort of base to the skin, it does take away some of the natural color and glow that we have. A lot of the natural redness that we have, we tend to cover that. It's something that we don't like, and it's probably because it's just not as strategic as we would like. So this is the part where we're adding life back into our complexion with the use of bronzers and blushes. So I'm going to start off with bronzer, and I'm choosing cream products to keep that same texture. It's easy for it to mimic the skin as opposed to powders, which you can still use, but just be careful how much you're layering because powder is where things tend to look more makeup-y. And I'm using a fluffy brush, which is essentially a powder brush. And the reason why, this is going to make sure that it's being applied in a diffused manner. So it just, again, looks like natural skin and we still have that glow and color coming through. And then it's always a nice tip to take the excess on your brush and just dust this over your eyes so that we're picking up the color that's on our skin and just creating a really nice uniform look. Now for our blush, again, remember we're layering back color, so you always want to add a little bit of blush to the skin. Having color is going to make you look alive. It's going to just look glowy and healthy. So a little trick too that I like, this can be helpful if you have difficulty with choosing colors, especially for a no makeup look. I'm wiping my lips, and what I'm going to do is actually choose a blush that is close to the color of my natural lips. So choosing a color that already mimics a natural color that's on your skin or your skin tone is really going to help sell that no makeup look, because it's going to trick the eye that this color is actually really a part of this person. And again, I am still using my fingers as my tools, and although this is a liquid formula, it is a little more gel-like, so it's easily blendable. You can add a little bit over the nose, which gives a little youthful glow. And again, take a little bit of the excess on your fingers and put this over the eyes. So our base is still looking really nice and radiant, but we could use a little extra razzle dazzle. So we're going to accentuate a little bit more of this look to just give it that little extra special. For no makeup looks, I always like a one and done eyeshadow. You can skip eyeshadow completely, but again, these are the accents that just add a little something. So personally, I like a little champagne or pinky peachy shimmer to my eyes. So as I talk, as I blink, you see just a little extra something. And then I'm going to do the same version of that for my cheeks, and I'm taking that same fluid share that we mixed into our foundation, and I'm just lightly tapping this on my cheeks. And I'm going to do some overall powder now just to set, as I'm oily. I do have to do a teensy bit of powder, but all of the formulas that I used are going to help me because they are all long wearing and they're all self-setting. So I don't need to rely on powder to hold things in place. I'm mostly just using it to take that little tacky layer off of my base just to get that smooth, skin-like, slightly velvet finish. Now it's time for your final touches. This is where we're going to pull the look together and complete it with our brows, our lashes, and of course our lips. So I'm brushing my brows into place, and I'm also going to give it a little wipe just to take any product out. I'm just using a dry tissue because I don't want to wet the surrounding makeup. I'm going to go ahead and then use my brow gel. Now, if needed, use your brow pencil or pen and fill in very lightly to get your more sisterly shaped brows or any sparse hairs that you may need filled in, but try not to make it an overdone brow. The brow is really where you're gonna push it from that no makeup look to, yes, this is a makeup look, maybe a natural glam or soft glam. So be very intentional with your brow correction process. And then for mascara, you can of course choose which color you like. Brown is going to be the most natural look, but you can also do black. Personally, I have been loving brown a lot recently, so that's the one that I'm gonna go with. And I do have naturally long lashes, so when I do black mascara, it tends to get a little dramatic, so I really have been enjoying the brown. And then for my last finishing touch for my eyes before we go on to lips, I like adding a little brightness to my inner corner. Now usually that's where you would do like a shimmer shadow and all that, but what I'm actually going to do is use a concealer pencil so that it looks like my skin, but between my eyes just have natural brightness, because this is all natural beauty. This is exactly how I woke up this morning. And then our last touch is our lips. So we're going to use the same trick that we did for our cheeks. I am choosing a lip liner, or you could choose a lipstick, a single color that again mimics my natural lip. And I'm just blurring the edges of that line so it's not harsh and it doesn't look too overdone. So you see this side versus this side. And then for a touch of color in the center of my lips, I'm going to tap a little bit of my blush. Now, this is pretty, but it's not as long lasting. So I definitely recommend taking some time to look for a lip stain that is that color of your lip so that you have more longevity with that look. But if you're someone that is going to touch up your lips and you're going to be okay with it, then you can definitely do this trick to again keep all of this color cohesive. And then I'm going to top it with a really pretty gloss. I always like having a little bit of gloss on my lips, and choosing a pretty one is going to make your touch-ups easy, especially if you use the blush on the lips like I did. You can just take the lip liner and the gloss with you and touch up with that, because again the colors are all still together, so you could put a little bit of that lip liner in the center if you need to add that touch of color back in. The last thing that you can do, which is optional, is do a setting spray over your makeup. This is going to help lock it in and give you some longevity. If you have oily skin, you may want to do this extra step. It isn't going to prevent your oils from coming through, but it will help to keep things in place while that's happening. This is the final look. I wanted to put everything together so that you can see once your hair is done and you're dressed and ready for the day, that we really have created a beautiful and natural, easy to do makeup look. If you try my play technique for your no makeup look, please do comment and let me know how it worked for you. And don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss the next one. And as always, I hope this helps.